Coming into the final round of the Liqui Moly Pro Sport Bike Championship, Trevor Dion and David MacKay have 2 victories and 2 second-place finishes each. The difference? MacKay crashed out in the very first race of the season, leaving him with a 21-point deficit behind Trevor Dion. Can MacKay make up the points in race 1 of the doubleheader here at Old Mosport? Everyone, and welcome to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Round 4, Race 7 of the 2022 Liqui Moly Pro Sport Bike Championships. There is Elliot Vieira as he's getting ready for the start of the race. As Dunlop presents the Liqui Moly Pro Sport Bike National Championships. Brought to you in part by Importation Thibault, Joe Rocket, and Pro 6 Cycle. And as we send our riders out on their warm-up lap, I'll introduce my co-announcer here, Michael Leon. Welcome aboard again, mister.
Thank you, Frank. I have a feeling we're going to see some tremendous racing here. And here's our starting grid. We have Trevor Dion on pole, David MacKay, Elliot Vieira, and Matthew Simpson. And on the second row, Jake Leclerc, Louis Rafa, and Vincent Levenin.
And indeed, Michael, if qualifying was any example, I think we're in for a barn burner. We have a championship to be decided this weekend, so it's going to be a very interesting weekend for all of us.
And rounding out the grid, we have Massey, Lada, Azevedo, Fair, and Barnes on the last row.
And as the riders make their way to the starting blocks, let's check in with Dunlop pit reporter Hannah Streak.
Thanks, guys. Trevor Dion on LDS Consultants Kawasaki ZX6R has a 22-point lead in the championship standings heading into the first race here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Now, a victory will clinch him the championship, which makes him the first ever rookie winner in Pro Sport Bike history. I talked to Trevor before the race, and he said that although he has a chance to clinch the championship, he's not changing his approach at all. He's going to still go out there and race as hard as he can. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Hannah. And they are on the starting line. The Bickle Racing lights are starting to come on. Of course, when they go off, the field will launch. They have gone off, and the field has launched. We'll see who got the whole shot on this one. It looks like MacKay. It is David MacKay in first, and guess who's in second, Michael?
Trevor Dion, of course, and this is exactly what MacKay needs to do. You know, he needs to get out front and try to break away.
Oh, Dion now to the inside at the top of the hill. That's a rather brave move.
I guess Dion is trying to stamp his authority on this race and take charge.
You know, there was a time where you wouldn't have taken that line because there used to be a little bit of a dip at the top of the hill there, but that's been paved out and it's very smooth now, and Dion took full advantage of that.
He's already starting to stretch it out, and we're going to have to see how they exit Moss's corner out onto the back straight. That'll determine whether they can all pop back in the draft. It's very difficult to break away at this track, as you know, Frank.
Yes, indeed, virtually impossible. Elliot Vieira, by the way, holding on to third spot there, and I think Matt Simpson is in behind him. Both those riders are on white bikes, and I got them a little confused as we were watching them come through. Now onto the back straightaway. Grab some handlebars, Michael. Take us for a ride.
We call it a straightaway, Frank, and we only do that because we're pinned all the way from 5 to 8, clicking through the gears, and this is where all the drafting happens, and here we're going to go on board with El Vieira.
Oh, and that was Matt Simpson, came up the inside. Here comes Leclerc. Wow, things have changed drastically. Now MacKay coming right at us. He is right on the back wheel of Elliot Vieira.
Already some bold moves happening, and that was a nice move by Simpson, catching the draft pass and then tucking on the inside of 8.
And onto the front straightaway we go as we watch them head down into turn number 1. Dion still with the lead. Simpson now running in second spot. That's as high as we've seen him on the race.
Yeah, my eyes are on MacKay because he's dropped now. He's in 4th place. We got Vieira and Simpson switching spots.
Vieira making a nice pass there.
This is not what MacKay needs to happen. He needs to move forward and move up in the points if he wants to have a shot at the championship.
Absolutely. MacKay is in a very bad position right now if he's looking for a championship, and I know full well that's exactly what he's looking for. Louis Rafa on the Honda is running in 6th spot. Jake Leclerc rather, on the 811. He was the one that gave us some excitement going into turn number 8 last lap.
And here we see Dion, he's still in the lead going into 5, and this is an important part of the track for him to try to make a breakaway.
There's 6 riders now, Mike, that are going for the lead here.
Interestingly enough, when you're going to try to draft pass a rider here, you want to give them a little bit of room exiting 5, about 5 bike lengths, to give you a chance to slingshot pass. If you're following too closely, it doesn't work.
Oh,
and it looks like that worked out a little bit there for Vieira. He was able to pull alongside, and here he's
right alongside Dion now as they come up over the hill. They were perfectly side by side from the bridge right up until the tip-in point. Now Vieira has the race lead.
He was around the outside there, and you're going on board and watching the pass happen. He's drafting, setting up, slingshotting pass on the left.
Looking back from Dion's bike, and here we go. Now we're on board with Dion. We watch Vieira as he makes a very nice move down into turn number 8 now. It's still with the lead as we come into turn number 1 on the next lap. Vieira over Dion. Then Simpson. Simpson staying in there. He's really hanging in good.
Yeah, and if you remember back to the first or second round at Grand Bend, he got on the podium in his rookie pro weekend, which was pretty impressive. And obviously his bike is fast because he's here able to keep pace.
Looks like Vieira and Dion are getting a little bit of distance here, but we forget how much that can be eaten up on the back straightaway. MacKay now has moved back up into 3rd spot, so he put himself into a more enviable position, shall we say.
Very important for him.
Look at the swing that Vieira has there. He goes from one side of the track, right from the left side, all the way over to the right side to make it the entrance that he wants going into turn number 4. Here they are in 5.
Here they are heading onto the straightaway again to do that last lap dance, that game of cat and mouse. And all important here at Mosport. You know, often it's hard to break away, not only because of the draft, but also because corner 8 rewards bravery, and you can use a little bit of incentive to catch it up.
And Michael will be right back with more action here on TSN. Closed captioning for the Liqui Moly Pro Sport Bike Championship is brought to you by Pro Cycle, AIM Insurance, Revs for Red, CSBK's official charity, and motorcyclecourse.com. Welcome back to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. We are working lap number 4 of 14. Elliot Vieira leading this race on the Yamaha. Trevor Dion running in 2nd spot on the Kawasaki.
We got a 6-bike battle for the lead here, and Louis Rafa's at the tail end of it in 6, trying to cling on and make sure he doesn't lose pace with the front runners.
Dion into turn 3, running a strong 2nd position. We had a chance to sit down and chat with Trevor earlier today about the pressures of leading a national championship.
It's definitely a little overwhelming. You know, first year running in the pro ranks, it's to lead the championship in the last round. You gotta, you know, play smart and use your head a little bit in the race. I know those boys, all 3 of us are pretty close, and we've been close all season long, so it's definitely going to be exciting this weekend, especially with that long back straightaway. We're going to have some pretty fun drafting passes on the back straight, so it should be fun.
Should be fun indeed. We watched the back straightaway, and Dion towing Matt Simpson up the back straightaway this time. And both of those guys, oh man, are they ever close going into turn number 8 there as Simpson has been able to get past Dion. So now it is Vieira over Simpson and then Dion. Now he's in a pressure cooker.
We're going back for the replay, and here's Simpson approaching in the draft. And if you have to make a choice to pass at the end here, you would prefer to be on the right, on the inside, because, you know, that would afford the rider you're passing to push you wide a little bit, but didn't seem to bother Simpson at all. He went right around the outside and closed the door on Dion, but did give him enough room with, you know, it was a very clean pass.
Very, very nicely done. Yeah, very clean pass. And you remember, Michael, that both Dion and Simpson both graduated in CSBK through our lightweight sport bike class.
Yes, and if you think back to Mosport here last year, Tremblay kind of split and took off, leaving 4 of these riders to battle for 2nd place, and now here they are all battling at the front. But that's not to say the pace is any slower. If you look at the fastest lap that Tremblay did last year, was the 2nd lap of the race on fresh tires. He did a 1:24.68, and on the 4th lap, Simpson did a 1:24.7, so matched that time. So the pace is fast, and I would keep my eyes on Simpson if I was you.
Well said. I have concerns about MacKay. Right now, Leclerc has moved into 4th spot. He has displaced David MacKay back into 5th spot. This is the other championship contender. He and Trevor Dion are contending for the Liqui Moly Pro Sport Bike Championship for 2022, and MacKay is in a very unenviable position right now.
This is the opposite of what Kay needs to be happening.
Yeah.
He needs to be up front leading, hoping that Dion Dion has some type of either mechanical problem or gets mixed up with some riders and doesn't finish.
Simpson
very well.
is taking it to Vieira. He is right with Vieira now.
Yeah,
I think he has intentions. Dion sitting back and watching it, as is Leclerc, as is MacKay, as they steam down into turn number 1. But Vieira still with a healthy lead. Take note on this lap if we get the good footage that I can show you, Mike. But what I wanted to point out is Vieira is taking some very different lines and spots, and I'll jump in when time comes.
He does use a bit of a wider line, but we have seen that all season. MacKay's at the back in 5th, and he needs to move ahead now. He needs to make it happen. You know, we're on lap 6. He can't afford to get dropped. He needs to move to the front. He needs to get out and win this race if he has any hope of winning the championship this season.
Race leaders now down into turn number 5. Moss is cornered by name, 5 by number, of course, and all 6 of them very, very close as they get ready to head up the Mario Andretti straightaway. And we'll be right back here on TSN. We're back at CGMP for the Liqui Moly Pro Sport Bike National Championship race. Elliot Vieira is leading over Matt Simpson and Trevor Dion.
And we have MacKay is right behind Dion, and I think, you know, Dion, as long as he's got MacKay behind him, he's going to be happy. If he could be a couple spots ahead, I think that would give him enough points to actually clinch the championship today. And MacKay's well aware of that. I'm sure his team and he have done all the math, which the pressure is probably also, you know, getting to him. And here we go, back up the straightaway, and we're going to see if MacKay can set up Dion and make that draft pass.
Those top 4 riders were much closer going through turn 5 than they had been the lap before. They are really starting to close up. Vieira continues to lead, but Simpson's running very strong, and now here comes MacKay is also getting back on the gas. We're looking back from David MacKay at Jake Leclerc. He's passed Dion. What a nice shot that was as MacKay goes by his arch rival right between turns 8 and 9, and now he's in the top 3. Now he is chasing Simpson and Vieira. Now MacKay has a shot at it. Man, 2 laps ago I would have thrown him out the back door, but MacKay has a definite chance here.
Have I told you how much I love this racetrack, Frank? This is one of the best racetracks that we come to.
True.
And this is why, because it, you know, the drafting and the high speed allows for
MacKay
all this
on the
exciting
inside,
movement. Here we
he
go.
just about ran into the back wheel of Simpson coming up to that corner and then made an incredible pass into second spot now in behind Vieira. Now Simpson looks to the inside. Nothing to be had there as now MacKay will concentrate. Look, see the difference I was talking about?
That wide line that you were talking about, and Vieira's on his spare bike, but it seems to be working very, very well. And finally, MacKay has moved forward. I don't know if you heard us talking about him. I'm sure he didn't need that motivation. He wants to win that championship as much as Dion does, as much of all these riders do, and he knows what he's got to do.
Yeah, ask Kevin Schwantz about the past due date. Now we're going up onto the back straightaway and up onto the Mario Andretti straightaway, carrying the name, of course, of that very famous American car racer. We're looking back from the Snow City Cycle, Brooklyn Cycle Racing, Yamaha of Elliot Vieira, and we're looking at David MacKay, and we're losing sight of him, Michael, because he's going by. He has moved into first spot.
We're watching physics in action, the drafting. Let's see if we get a replay of David MacKay probably thanking Fast Company all the way up that back straightaway for the power on that Kawasaki 600.
Right in behind, swings out to the right.
It was timed perfectly, Frank.
Truly,
and, you know, that silk. That pass began to be set up out of Moss's corner. He left just enough room to get the drive on him, and perfectly executed. This is what David MacKay needs to do.
He is exactly where he wants to be and exactly doing what he wants to do. And we get ready to throw it down to our Dunlop pit reporter, Hannah Streak, as Simpson takes second spot away from Vieira.
Thanks, guys. Fast Company Kawasaki's David MacKay is currently in the lead. This is exactly where he needs to be to beat Trevor Dion and push the championship fight into race 2. I spoke to David, and he said that his main goal is to just stay consistent because anything can happen during a race, and Trevor Dion is one with all the pressure on his shoulders. Back to you.
I'm not sure I would agree with that, Mike. Hannah said all the pressure was at Dion. I think all the pressure is on MacKay right now.
Absolutely. MacKay, you know, he's out in front, and what's the best way to drop Dion? Put the hammer down and try to pull the riders behind you forward.
Well, that's exactly what he's doing.
Here we have Matt Simpson in the draft, coming around the outside, going to make the pass. Exciting stuff for Matt Simpson, and I believe this is the first time he's going to lead across the stripe if he keeps that lead. First time leading a pro sport bike race. Exciting times.
The excitement will continue shortly. We'll be right back here on TSN. Welcome back to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park as Dunlop presents the Liqui Moly Pro Sport Bike National Championships. Brought to you in part by Importation Thibault, Joe Rocket, and Pro 6 Cycle. Back at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park we are, and Matt Simpson is leading his first national championship race, and he has a title contender in behind him by the name of David MacKay, who's coming up real close.
And Dion is still in fourth, and here we go with MacKay on the inside. Look at that. Great pass. And this is what MacKay needs to do. He needs to lead this race, and he needs to win this race.
Yeah, now Simpson comes back again, and Dion has moved up now into third spot as he passes Elliot Vieira right in the middle of turn 3 and then takes him way wide on the exit. And Jake Leclerc sitting back, he's got the best seat in the house right now.
Yeah, we're on lap 11 at 14. We're coming to the end. We're past the halfway. If there's a red flag or something goes wrong, then they're going to call it. So, you know, Mosport can kind of be a game of chess. You don't want to be leading on the last lap because you want to draft past. But at the same time, if you don't take charge and go to the front, if there's a red flag, you know, your chances of winning are dashed. So
excellent
here we
point,
go.
Excellent point. Well, there's our titles contenders running in second and third right now. We're on the Evans Racing Yamaha being piloted by Matthew Simpson. And look at MacKay. He's gone into the race lead once more. And Simpson shut it back. Wow, Vieira way wide there in turn number 8.
We're watching Fast Company Kawasaki motor there on the straightaway, with Simpson following closely in second. And now he's had a taste of leading this race. And he is putting in all of his efforts to get back to the front. And Dion following closely in third.
What a thrill it must be for a youngster like that. He is a rookie pro, of course, and don't forget, we've had four first-time winners already this year. If Simpson can possibly pull this off, he'd be number 5. But right now, of course, he is relegated into second spot in behind David MacKay on that Kawasaki. Now he's moved out and passes going into turn 3. So Simpson is really riding the wheels off that Evans Racing Yamaha as now MacKay starts coming back as they head up into turn 4. They'll take the downhill dive down off of 2, I should say, rather. And now we're down off of 4 into Moss's corner.
Dion following in third place. It's great damage control for him. He wants to make sure that David, you know, doesn't gather that much more points back up on him to catch him up. And we still have a race tomorrow. So the running order is Simpson, MacKay, and Dion, with Elliot Vieira in 4th and Leclerc in 5th.
Yeah, and they've left the riders 6th, 7th, and 8th way in behind. Too bad for Louis Rafa, the only Honda in this race, and he was running as high as 5th spot at one point in time. Here now the pack going through turn number 8, and the battle up front continues to be between Matt Simpson and David MacKay. Trevor Dion sitting back in 3rd spot. He is the points leader for the national championship, and he's watching it unfold right in front of him. MacKay now in the slipstream of Simpson. Will he attempt? No pass attempt into 1.
Just want to point out, Frank, all of these riders have won a race this season for the first time, except for Simpson.
Well, there you go. That about sizes it up. Up into turn number 2 once more, and it is Matt Simpson leading over MacKay. They're starting to get a little bit of distance here, Michael.
They are, and I think, you know, Dion has probably seen his pit board. 2 laps to go. He's in 3rd. MacKay's right in front of him. He would not want to throw away the opportunity to get on this podium and really put a real cinch on the championship.
This is a very key race for both for Trevor Dion, particularly for Trevor Dion, but also for David MacKay. This could be redemption for MacKay if he can pull it off by any chance. Dion now back into 3rd spot after capturing Vieira. So they've been battling back and forth. That is the race within the race, if you will, and it's right within stone's throw of your race leaders. Look at MacKay. He is right in the wheel tracks of Simpson. Look, you can't even see him there for a moment. Now he pulls out, perhaps a bit early, Mike?
Maybe a little too early. Yeah, if you break the traffic too early, then you have a hard time getting by.
Oh, he's having a hard time getting by. Exactly true, as Matt Simpson refuses to accept his challenge, and he holds on to 1st spot, and he guards that inside line like an NHL goaltender, as Dion now shunted back into 4th spot, and MacKay into 2nd, and a very strong 2nd. Another race win perhaps coming here for David MacKay.
Well, we're going to have to see as we begin our final lap, and you know, the question is, you know, has Simpson been in this spot before? I don't think so, not at this level. You know, how is he going to play that last lap charge up the straightaway? And is he going to fall victim to the power of the Fast Company Kawasaki?
Well, that's good. There he goes, MacKay into the race lead, so I think that pretty much solves it. No, I was wrong on that one. I thought MacKay had taken the inside line there and taken the race lead. I was dead wrong on that as Matt Simpson continues to lead this thing.
Yeah, we got Vieira in third, and he's pulled a gap on Dion. I don't think Dion is close enough to draft if they head into Moss's the way they are right now.
No, and as a matter of fact, Dion is being pressured by Jake Leclerc running back in fifth spot. Dion holding on to fourth spot. Right now, they're squaring up turn number 5. They're going to take a run up that back straightaway. And, of course, as we expected, MacKay right in the wheel tracks of Matt Simpson. Waved yellow flag down at 5 there, so there's no passing at that point in the racetrack. But nonetheless, it does not affect us whatsoever.
Dion,
now, MacKay...
Sorry to interrupt, but Dion has fallen victim to Leclerc. He's now in 5th place.
Wow, down to 5th. And
now MacKay made the draft pass up the inside of 8.
He's taking
the lead.
What does this do for our championship? MacKay now, who's running 2nd in the championship standings, now has the race lead. Simpson's coming back now. Simpson to the inside. Was there contact?
They touched, Frank. It was close.
Wow. Now on board with David MacKay. We're chasing Matt Simpson. Now we're bunting into Matt Simpson. And Simpson, he has won. Holy cow. Mike, I would have lost a lot of money betting on this race, but Matt Simpson has won this race, and he is now the 5th rider to have won his first national championship race in 2022.
How spoiled have we been?
Wow.
Here we're seeing the replay. Simpson on the inside, making the pass. There's not much room. He squeezes through.
Jeepers, that was close.
Great reaction from David to give him just enough room. Then try to square it up and have that famous drag race to the line here that we see at Mosport time and again, which Simpson came out on top of.
Wow. Well, having a quick look at our finishing order here, Pat Barnes bringing it home in 10th spot. Sean Latta on the Triumph finishes in 9th. But look at where Trevor Dion is, Michael.
Yeah, Dion has had that lead slip from 22 points now to 13. David MacKay did exactly what he needed to. It could only have been better if he had won. But here's Hannah with another first-time winner.
All right, folks, I'm here with Matt Simpson. He just won his first Pro Sport bike race. You are the 5th first-time winner of this season. What a phenomenal race to watch. Can you tell me how that felt out there?
Oh, that was a great race, you know. I knew I had a great bike under me, and just running with the front guys now, finally at the end of the year, it felt great. You know, I knew they were a bit more power down the back straight, so I just hung in and had to make a couple last lap passes there, but I couldn't be happier.
Trevor, tell me about how it felt out there.
It's definitely tough. It's not where we want to finish, but we're still leading going into tomorrow, so that's definitely important. And we got a little bit of work to do, and we got some notes to look back on. And yeah, tomorrow's another day, and you know, you take every race as it goes. You can't win them all, but again, yeah, it was a good race.
And Mikey, let's have a look at our point standings as we head into the final Liqui Moly Pro Sport bike race of the season.
It has certainly tightened up. We have Trevor Dion leading still, MacKay trailing by 13 points, followed by Vieira, Leclerc, Simpson, Rafa, Campbell, and Massey.
And there is our podium. Our congratulations go out to Matt Simpson for his first national championship win. On behalf of the entire CSBK crew, thank you so much for being with us. We look forward to seeing you next time.